I got the question that everybody wants to know. Do you personally buy all the outfits that you get? Do they send them to you? How do you turn it over so quick?
Yeah, so you got to utilize that, next day air, So yeah, so I do pay for, all that merchandise myself. It wasn't always like that when I first started. I had a few videos, like the FSU video, where fans sent me FSU gear because they really wanted me to do a video on that. I kept on getting more requests for different videos. I'm like, all right, well, I got to do this. I got to be hands-on. You know what I mean? I got to be proactive. So I would just go out. At first, started just going to the mall. Sometimes they didn't have it, though. So now I got to go on Nike.com, Fanatics.com, and just next day air, pay for it, whatever. It's a tax write-off, and get it in and do what I got to do.
Check. Mic check 1, 2. What up, dude? What's going on, Panthers Nation? It's Aaron Duncan here with Unnecessary Bluntness Sports Talk, bringing you an exclusive, the world premiere, the season premiere, whatever you want to call it, of the Panther Banter Podcast. Yes, I have been covering the Panthers for a while, so you may be like, what's the Panther Banter Podcast? Well, this is going to be exclusively the Panthers, but I usually do it on my lonesome. I'm going to have special guests on this show. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about the Panthers. We're going to talk about what's going on with it, just talk about them in general. And y'all know I don't usually collab with people, so in our first episode, I had to have a special guest, the man himself, one of the funniest men on the internet, Mr. Go 30, also known as Coach 30, also known as Brenden Clinton. What's going on, man?
What's happening, man? Hey, look, man, I'm trying to be the number one Panther fan out there, man. So Steph Curry, I'm coming for you.
Hey,
I'm trying to hit the King Pounding drum.
Hey, man. Hey, Steph out there I might have to get me a Curry football jersey too. Them things kind of clean with the 30 piece on it though. But yeah, man. I mean, you got the maybe one day, if Tepper, I don't know what he got. You made a little video about Tepper, so I don't know if you're in the doghouse because according to them, they be on the internet looking at what we be saying. According to them.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, hey Tepper, my bad, bro. It's all jokes. It's all jokes, man. Invite me to the facility. Let's get it.
Hey, he got the money, man. You know what I'm saying? So he can spoil anybody. You know what I'm saying? But I just I appreciate you coming on, man. But I think a lot of people, including me initially, didn't even really know you were a Panthers fan. I know one of your most recent videos when you kind of talked about Baker being traded and Robbie Anderson, it was a little bit like a lot of your content is funny overall, but you could tell that you had a little bit more knowledge about the Panthers than the average person that just in the national media or whatever it is looks at the Panthers. So you could tell that you were a Panthers fan. So I just want to talk about how long have you actually been a fan of the squad and like just how you became a Panther fan?
Dang, I've been a Panther fan since that Super Bowl against the Patriots. Yeah. What was that? 02, about 02.
Yeah. That was a while ago.
I was in Charlotte at that time. It was a big party.
Yeah.
We watching the game. So yeah, since that time I've been a Panther fan, but I moved out of the Charlotte area probably about 5 or 4 years later, but still, kept the squad, kept riding with them. So it's probably been at this point, it's been like 17 years or so.
Dang. Yeah, I mean that's a good minute. I mean, because I guess it goes to my next question because.
So it's been some ups and downs. Like, man,
I'm about to say it's been plenty of them things. It's either
I've been on a roller coaster, man.
I don't know if you saw that graphic that came out recently. It said that the Panthers have like a top 10 playoff winning percentage, but it seems like 53%. And I'm like, we only 27 years old, first of all. But like, it don't seem like it's been that high. So it's more like when we get in the playoffs, we're gonna make noise, but it just don't happen all the time.
And you know what happens is it's like for the longest time before Ron Rivera, it was like losing season, winning season, losing season, winning season. Like we never had back-to-back winning seasons. Maybe we have 8-8.
Yeah.
And but it was never back-to-back winning seasons. And then John Fox every year 7-9. So,
old Foxy, yeah. We still ain't had back-to-back years, man. We still searching for that. So you got to get one to be able to put two of them together. And since your boy David Tepper has been the owner, it has not been much success. But nah, it is tough. But then you got the people that are just the regular fans. They gonna ride with them regardless, up and down. There's a couple different buckets. It seemed like you more of the type that's you just been with the squad since you've been around for a little minute.
Yeah. I'm the latter. I'm the last one you said. So and I love Cam. Cam is my second favorite Panther of all time. Number one is that guy Steve Smith. But Cam is my second favorite. I know we're a young team, but eventually we got to start talking about number retirements. You know what I'm saying, and taking some of them out. But
and
we're a young team.
Tepper won't do it. He won't do it because they just gave away number 90 recently.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't see anybody touching one per se. I don't think anybody would want to, but you're right. It's about time to start putting some people in the ring of honor, get them jerseys up and stuff like that.
I don't want to see nobody in 89. It can't be the age of 89.
And Steve Smith was the reason I started playing football too, because I played running back, and then in high school I switched to receiver, but I was short as hell. But like watching Steve Smith's son, he was a dog. The trash talk, how small he was, I was like, dog. It's
never been. I don't think it was nothing like him before him. It won't be nothing like him after him. He was one of one. And like you said, that's whose highlight tape I used to watch before I played my games. I played receiver, I played DB. That's who I used to watch his highlight tape, man. Just that dog mentality, man. 89.
So how long did you play football?
I played football from the 4th grade all the way up until college. So I actually had a year eligibility left, but I had the opportunity to graduate, so I just got out of there. But all the way up until college.
Where'd you play at?
I played at Salisbury University here in Maryland, and then McDaniel College here in Maryland as well. I transferred because I was a receiver and I wanted the ball more.
Nah, I know how that go. I played down in Georgia. I played D3 down at LaGrange, but
I was D3 too. Those are both those D3 schools too.
Did we play Salisbury?
Did y'all play Salisbury?
I don't know if we played Salisbury or not.
Nah.
I mean,
they in the NJAC. It's like a New Jersey area conference or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I might say we went up north a couple times. We went to Virginia a few times to I forgot what that school is named. Ferrum, I think, something like that. They're in Virginia. We went to some other little school in Newport News also. Christopher Newport or something like that's what it's called.
We played them. Salisbury played. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those small schools in D3, you know the struggle, man. It be in the middle of nowhere. Ain't none of the perks of D1. You still got all the work, but you don't
all the work. Perks,
ain't no clout, ain't no females.
Still waking up 6 a.m., 5 a.m., working out, watching film, but you know what I'm saying? You don't got none of the clout.
The same struggle, man. But you done transition, so you transition from the player side to the coach's side now, per se.
Yeah.
And you can tell just off of the strength of some of the banter that you have on some of your skits, you could tell that you've been in those film rooms before. And I don't know which the first video I saw, maybe it was a college video of some of the stuff just hit different. We had a coach like that in the special teams meeting, he would literally embarrass you. I have to this day, we had a coach that I was late and I was looking outside the glass window. He caught me, he met me at the door and put my head up to the glass and made me watch the meeting from outside. And so some of them film sessions when you just get roasted, it hit home. But you just put a different twist on. I want to talk about how'd you get to the point where you found your groove? Like were you just trying different things and you just one day this just hit and you just started going with it, or what? Just tell me about that process.
That's exactly what happened, man. I was doing videos, and then it was multiple. It was anything. I was doing videos on anything, multiple subjects, anything that came to my mind, and that was one thing that came to my mind. Just how it is inside of a defensive backs film room. Because in college, I played mostly defensive back. So, and like that's the toughest, and they'll tell you that's like the toughest position on the football field. It'd be like DB, because you got to play perfect. You almost got to play perfect because you can play a perfect game. Let's say you give up the bomb and they win the game on that touchdown bomb. All of a sudden, it was a bad game for you. Well, that's the perception, everybody in the crowd. So it's one of them positions. You got to have tough skin, and you just got to be built tough, and it's a tough position. So, obviously the meeting rooms are tough, and how they coach us is tough. So that's what I was trying to convey, and also but bring out the humor in it as well. So I would exaggerate certain things, but I wanted that realistic feel. But people just liked it, and people also just could relate to it. And I was just giving my experience, but I didn't know that people would be able to relate to it so much. But they did, and so I just continued to go with that same subject matter.
And I got the question that everybody wants to know. Do you personally buy all the outfits that you get? Do they send them to you? How do you turn it over so quick? Because stuff happens on Saturday, and you got these videos out Sunday evening, Monday morning, something like that. You turn these things over quick. I know Amazon Prime got the next day and stuff, but you be pulling these small college merchant apparel out of the woodworks and have those videos ready. So where do you get all your stuff?
Yeah, so you got to utilize that, next day air, So I do pay for, all that merchandise myself. It wasn't always like that. When I first started, I would have sometime on certain ones, fans would send them in, or, that's pretty much it. So when I first started, I had a few videos, like the FSU video where fans sent me FSU gear because they really wanted me to do a video on that thing. But then as I kept on getting more requests for different videos, I'm like, all right, well, I got to do this. I got to be hands-on. You know what I mean? I got to be proactive with this. So I would just go out. At first, started just going to the mall, picking up something. I got a, college. I got a, what is it called? Fan something.
Fanatics.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fanatics store in the mall. So I would go in there and whatever college this gear they had. Sometimes they didn't have it though. So now I got to go on Nike.com, Fanatics.com, and just next day air, pay for it, whatever. It's a tax write-off, and get it in and do what I got to do.
Yeah, man. So I'm sure your closet is a little bit extensive at this point, because I mean we've seen you do impressions from Primetime to Tony Stark to all the above, man. I can really appreciate your craft, dog, because the off season is so slow. Everybody during the off season, people start reaching for content. You see all these BS headlines from like First Take and stuff, of them making up narratives, and people are there's nothing on, so it's hard to get content. But the creative mind for you to take Avengers Endgame or whatever the movie that everybody was emotionally tied to, and break that film down, it had me dying laughing. That and the best spot. The best spot when
wait till you see what's on the horizon, man. I got something for you before the end of the month, man.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even want to say it because I don't want anybody to get any type of, insight yet. But it depends on what you watched growing up. Let's just say that.
Okay.
It was a part of my childhood, but we'll see. This will come up before the end of the month.
Those who get it will get it, I guess. I got you. But so I guess you talked about fans sending you apparel, but my other question is too, like, what goes into you determining, like, because like I said, right now it's slow, but like once football season comes, you are big on the college doing a lot of those because obviously they're a little bit more imperfect, so there's a lot more opportunity to get roasted there. But NFL is right after it. So how do you determine what videos? I know you probably get tagged all day and like, hey, do this, hey, do that, or here's whatever. Do you use what people tag you in? Do you just find yourself on your own? How do you go about that determining process of what you're gonna make?
It's usually what I'm being tagged in the most. Like what is, what got everybody fired up? What's everybody excited about? It's usually gonna be something. And so a lot of times I will let that guide me. Sometimes I just see something. I see a highlight. I see this. I see that. And I'm like, I can make a good joke out of that. Or sometimes it's been certain times where I'm like, man, I just want gear from that school. So I'm gonna get the gear and I'm gonna do a video. So that's all it is. That's how I determine. And it's like energy, man. And I'm religious and all that. So I just depend on God to just guide me in the right direction and do what feels right.
Yeah, I mean that's what's up, man. Because I guess I found you during football season, but I'm sure obviously you putting in the work before that. You went viral multiple times. I mean, if you get on TikTok, if you're on football TikTok at all, it's gonna be hard not to see on your For You page some of your videos coming up. But just talk about like the journey from. I know you talked about making other videos and then this. Like, just talk about like how fast things have moved and like where do you see things projecting from here on out, because obviously football season is a couple weeks away, so it's about to get cranked up again. But just talk about your journey and how the growth has been from where you were this time last year to now.
I mean, this time last year, so like I really didn't have no traction like that by this time last year. so it was really, I think it was like August where, things just started to really pick up. After I did, I started to really go hard with those football videos. So, I mean, everything has just been so organic, and it's just been a blessing. It's been the videos and the content and the structure of my videos and the things that I add. It's all been because of the people and what they liked, what they wanted more of, characters they liked. I continue to bring back, just stuff like that. It was just everything's just been completely organic. I've had, the time of my life. Things have just been fun. Just making these videos are fun. And when they're not fun, I don't do it. Like, I don't force anything. I try not force anything. You gotta get your money. You're working with different brands, but, I don't want to force anything. I want it to stay natural. And as far as, where it's going to continue to grow in that way, like I said, I depend on God to guide me and take me in the right direction. I trust that. So it's not like a fear there of what could happen. It's just I'm going to continue to grow. There's different opportunities that are on the horizon for me as far as acting, as far as, getting on some, shows that, a lot of people know about. I won't necessarily speak it now just because, I want to allow it to happen. But things are just going to continue to growing up. When I look, one of the things that's so crazy, especially me, like you play football, Aaron, and you look up to these guys in the NFL and that's playing D1 football, especially us who play D3. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy, man. I was on the sideline of a Maryland game. That's D1 down here, in Maryland, UMD, the Terps. And it's like I'm on the sideline and I'm making some content, but it's like those guys are in the game, like they're getting instruction from their defensive coordinator during the game, and then they spot me and they're like, "Bro, that's that dude. That's bro." Like, and I'm like, "Dang, that's crazy," because it's like y'all are the ones who, my whole life I wanted to be in y'all position, and I was looking up to y'all, and now I'm able to be recognized by y'all and NFL players. Like if you look at not only just on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, and you see like the verified NFL players that are, enjoying my content, man, that's crazy to me. It's just a blessing. So that's going to continue to grow, and it's just a blessing to also be able to have relationships with some of those guys and be able to talk to some of those guys, other football creators, other creators in general. So I'm having a blast.
Yeah, man. Salute to you for your growth, dog, because a lot of people don't realize, like, when people go viral, and you've gone viral more times than me. I've gone viral once on like accident. It's almost bad to go viral to a certain extent because once it gets to a certain level, you start getting the haters start coming in too. Like everybody, once it goes, it's going to reach the masses, but everybody's not going to love it, which is fine. But it's almost toxic to a certain extent. But at the same time, the fact that you have work that you were putting in beforehand and you keep putting out more videos, that's the other thing. Because some people, they go viral, like I said, on accident, and they don't really have any kind of thing in place to capitalize off of it. They don't have more content. But like some people think stuff happens overnight, but it's not really. Like you've been throwing stuff at the wall to see what happens for a while, and just boom, like you said, it caught fire. It's so relatable. That's why you got guys from the NFL to the high school level that love you and pull you to the side and saying whatever, even during the game. You know what I'm saying? So respect on that, man, because like creating this content and you on a whole different scale than me, and you in a whole different. I mean, we were talking about sports and stuff, but you in the comedy standpoint, which can be like, it's tough. Comedy is tough, man. Like I'm pretty funny with my friends.
I'm gonna push back on that for a little bit because comedy for me was just natural. Because what I realized was like, oh, the things that make me laugh are making other people laugh. I think that's when it just clicked for me when I started doing these videos, because I'm like, I can come up with stuff that I feel like is funny, and it was just like it just intertwined perfectly where it was like, oh, so the things that I find funny, so I make myself laugh while I'm doing these videos. I think that's always my goal. Like, is this funny to me? And if it's not funny to me, then I'm not putting it out there, or I'm not doing it. So I'm just making sure like, okay, this is something that I find funny. Regardless, when I put it out and I click send, and I click send tweet, post, whatever, like this is a video that I think is funny. So we'll see what y'all think, but usually it's been a good result so far.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, you ain't missed in a minute, dog. And I appreciate how you continue to add stuff. You got the post credit scenes now, stuff like that, and then obviously you plug it. You always find a way to plug in your brands. You got to get that bread.
Oh yeah.
Especially the Air app. I wish there was something like the Air app when I was around. You know what I'm saying?
Back
in
the day, that's a good idea. It's like Tinder for recruiting. That's crazy.
Exactly. It seems like they got all the resources these days. I mean, I don't know how old you are. I graduated from high school in 2009, and it wasn't. I was mailing out DVDs to college coaches, like burnt DVDs. So, I mean, the ground was a little bit different. We ain't had no huddling.
I came up in the huddle days.
Oh, okay, we had huddle, but it wasn't like a recruiting thing. We used it internally for film. So, like, technology is taking off so much now. Like, man, especially with social media and stuff, of course. But like, I mean, we had YouTube kind of just became a thing back when I came out. So like, you send a YouTube link, nobody was even gonna look at it. So I had to send out the hard copy DVDs, and I still ain't gonna be one. But
you know what's crazy? I feel like I could probably have like a recruiting business with the as far as Twitter. Yeah. With all the coaches that follow me on Twitter, like it's D1 coaches and down. So I gotta think about that, man.
I don't know who you know up. I don't know who makes the Air app, but that may be a little business idea. Tell them to put you some equity in that thing and get it. Put you on the board of directors or something. Let you get it because you got the network, you got the reach, man. You already partnered with them. Might as well get that bread from them.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, man. So I mean, just talking about. Let's get back to the Panthers a little bit because like I said, the season's coming up. Training camp is very soon. A lot of people you talked about Rivalry, you talked about Foxy. What are your thoughts on Matt Rule? This is year 3 for him. They talk about the process and building whatever. He's a program builder. He did it at Temple. He did it at Baylor. It's year 3. Year 3 is the year he turns it around, apparently. So where are you at on Matt Rule? You hot, cold? You buying, selling? You picking up what he putting down? Where you at on him?
All right. Here's what I like about Matt Rule. Even from the jump when he first got on, I feel like I think he is probably a motivator of men, just from hearing him talk. When you hear his press conference, like, you feel right. Like, he put that feeling in your heart. Like, you want to get out there and play. So I think that's probably something good about him. I listened to Robbie Anderson just today on I Am Athlete.
Yeah.
Speaking about him, speaking about what he's meant to him personally. Obviously, he coached Matt Rule down. He played under Matt Rule down at Temple.
I got you.
And Matt Rule really turned his career around down there. So that part, I believe in him. And then Robbie Anderson speaks about how the team feels about him, and people that listen to him, they like him. Okay, that's cool. So that's what I like. Now, what I don't like is how we just look so disorganized as an organization.
Yeah.
I know the quarterback is a hard position to nail down for a lot of teams. But what we've done, man, is just egregious, man, over the past 3 years, man. Just every year, just trying to find some average quarterback to put at the helm, and they don't get it done, and then we look back looking again. I really felt that we should have gotten we missed out on Herbert by 1 pick.
Yeah.
Hopefully they would have chosen him had he fell.
I heard they would have made the pick. Because when we played them, Herbert's rookie year, Phil Snow, he came out, he was just like, yeah, we really, like, if the defensive coordinator says during the draft process, they really looking at him, it happens. And I agree, man, dog. If we had just the Herbert, though, my God.
Oh, my God, man. Like, it's crazy. I wanted him so bad that year. And then I know the jury's, still out on Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another quarterback we passed up on.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we got our corner. He got hurt. But he'll be back this year. But I mean, JC Horn. Quarterback, cornerback, bro. Like, you need that quarterback. And we're seeing the effects of it. So, again, jury's still out on Justin Fields, so we don't know where that's going to go. But I think those are some of the things that I feel like he's made mistakes on, and it has hurt us. And so now, like you said, it's year 3. So we need to see something. And I don't want him back if it's another 5-win season. Honestly, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, he said it today. He don't want to be. He said he quote unquote said, I don't want to be a part of an organization that accepts mediocrity. So he would expect the pressure and the standard on him to be high. I mean, like you said, he comes off very good. A lot of people that there's an anti Matt Rules, like there's a whole hashtag called Rule Out, where they just a whole segment of people they just never forgave him for how they did Cam, which is fine. I understand that. It's a whole segment of that.
That's but another
like bad. He sounds good.
Had we kept Cam, had we never let go of Cam, we would have that continue. Been able to continue with him at the quarterback position. I feel like he would have been good. It's the fact that we brought Cam in when he had no time to prepare or do anything, or learn the playbook. Obviously, he's going to be in a position where he's not going to succeed. So,
I mean, yeah, you bring a guy in week 10. I mean, Cam, just to be, I'm a Cam fan too. I got a jersey in the frame, can't see it back there, but like he said on, I guess that was, I don't know if that was $1 million worth of game or that was I Am Athlete or one of them.
Either I Am Athlete or the Pivot.
Yeah, he talking about it was a fucked up situation. I mean, he was right. I mean, coming in week 10, obviously they almost had to start him that first home game back. It was like the first home game came back on the team. You can't. It was like 60,000 people with a fedora hat on. You can't not start Cam. So I get it. Your hands were kind of tied, but like after a while, once the rose-colored glasses come off, we get to that Miami game where we start looking like, okay, this is not going to work. Like, because our hopes were up about 2 weeks. I was riding high, had my
playoffs feeling stable.
Feeling good. What I'm saying, man, like it was hot shit, but reality set in, and like you said, it comes to that point where the stuff starts showing its head. The stuff that Matt Rule struggles with, the in-game management, not using timeouts, being up against the play clock all the time, which could be Joe Brady too, but he's had clock management issues. If you look up Matt Rule on Twitter, Matt Rule clock management, you'll see Baylor fans complaining about his clock management ability. And so these problems are chronic. It doesn't matter if you get Steve Wilkes. It doesn't matter if you get Ben McAdoo, guys that have experience, which is what I knocked him for. It seemed like it was a lot more nepotism going on initially. He wanted to hire his homeboys, which is cool. Yeah. But when your job on the line, you got to get the best of what you can get. Now, I feel like they got some experienced guys, and they can help prepare the players. But when it comes, like I said, those in-game decisions and stuff, it's still on him and making those second-half adjustments. Because a lot of times, I think there was a stat the other day, we were had a lead in 10 games and lost. Like, that led the NFL in games of having a lead and losing. And that just shows me you're not making adjustments. Your game plan during the week might be good, but as you know, playing ball, like, they going to make adjustments, so you got to adjust to their adjustments. And so I think that's his biggest shortcoming. But like you said, he sounds good, and it's year 3. I was like on the fire rule train too, but I'm not with the negative energy. I'm excited for football. I don't want to hate the season. And I think I've been a Panthers fan long enough to I know that. I remember when Ron Rivera was slacking with Cam Newton, going into his 3rd year. I wanted Jerry Richardson to fire him. Everybody wanted him fired. The pressure was on him. Turn around, won division, playoff berth, coach of the year. Now he's been a 2-time coach of the year. And I mean, obviously he fizzled out after Tepper came and stuff, but it's just a matter of time how quickly things can change in the NFL. So
sometimes I wish they kind of just would have allowed Ron Rivera to, I don't know, do like a reboot, just go to the lab and kind of get things right, maybe change some positions here or there, fire some guys on the staff, bring some new guys in. I like Ron Rivera. I think we had some semblance of consistency with him that could have been tied to Cam, of course, but I liked it. And I liked his defense. I feel like we were always top 10 when he was here. Although I do like Phil Snow. That was a pleasant surprise. Phil Snow, what he's done, with the defense.
He seems a lot more aggressive than Ron. Ron was more of a get home with 4, have a good front 7, let the secondary, whatever. I mean, we had some good secondaries, obviously, at times, but it seemed like we struggled at times at corner, especially once we got rid of Josh Norman. It seemed like it was just a struggle. Bradbury did his thing all right, but he's kind of wishy-washy for me too. So it just seemed like he had a different style. Phil Snow's a lot more aggressive. The secondary is our strength right now, and it hasn't been our strength of our defense in a minute. I'm a little bit nervous about losing Hassan Reddick, though. So I don't know how you feel about that.
I think that Gross Matos, that's his time. It's his time to step up.
He got it in him? You think so?
I think he got it in him. I think we've seen flashes from him.
Yeah.
And we've had and I think Morgan Fox, he's still on the team.
No, he's gone. He's gone. They let him walk, man. Unfortunately.
Oh wow! And then there was a smaller linebacker. Now I don't know why I'm forgetting his name now. Not linebacker. He was a D. He's an end, but he's linebacker side.
We had Brian Burns and then Marquise Haynes was a skinny guy. He's almost like diet Brian Burns.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So I believe in some of those guys because they've shown some, in flashes. So I think our pass rush will be all right. And like you said, Phil Snow is aggressive. So he'll dial it up and he'll make it happen. Plus, our D tackle, we drafted him first round not too long ago, about 2 years ago. Yeah. Hopefully he steps up a little bit too.
He got to.
And starts to get some pressure. So.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Brown, a lot of pressure's on him going into, I think it's his third, I think you're right, his third year. And that was the year, the Herbert year. And a lot of people were a little bit iffy. Some people wanted Isaiah Simmons. Some people, I was on the Simmons train. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even a Clemson fan. I thought, okay, boom, you got Kamara in the division. You need like a little hybrid type of linebacker that can run and whatever. Isaiah Simmons ain't all that either at this point, too. Derrick Brown still got to prove himself. So we'll see what happens.
We got the real Simmons.
Say what?
Chin.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's crazy.
And he's my guy. His jersey's my next purchase, but he's my guy. I'm ready to see him finally get some respect. And they got to win for us to get a little bit more respect. But we got some dudes, and I don't think if the quarterback position can be stabilized, we can do some decent things. And it's not even, we don't have to need Baker to win games per se. Yeah. Just don't lose them. There were certain games
Baker's like, your guy. You already put Baker.
Listen, man. Anybody but Darnold. Anybody but Darnold. But you talked about the quarterback little carousel. I want to get your thoughts on how you felt about the trade. We're going to talk about the competition, obviously, or competition. But how'd you feel about them making that move for Baker at this point in time after drafting the quarterback and stuff like that?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like it, and I think it's good for Rule, right? But I don't necessarily know how good it is for our long term or us getting our guy.
Yeah.
How fast we get our guy. Here's why I'm saying that. I feel like as though you could have given Sam Darnold another chance to fail, which he would have probably done quickly by week 4. Put Matt Corral in. If you just spent a third-round draft pick on him, let him play. See, what do we have in him, for this year? And either he's really bad and we're drafting number 1, number 2 overall, we can get our guy, or he's our guy, and now we're building around him. Like, it would have been – I would have liked it for us to get that clarity. And now, okay, we got Baker in here. So here's the problem now. So maybe you start Sam Darnold, but if you start Sam Darnold stinks it up, it's going to go straight to Baker, right? Like, at what point are we going to see Matt Corral before we're trying to look for another quarterback next year? And now maybe Baker comes in and he's all right, but now your draft pick isn't as good. You can't get your guy, and you still, trying to make it work with Baker. Maybe not long term, but maybe in an intermediate term or whatever. I just didn't want. I don't trust Baker. I don't want it to be Baker. Although I think he can come in and perform, for a season.
Yeah, and you made a great point. I think that's where most of the, I guess not the people that are neutral, the people that don't hate Matt Rule, and the people that aren't just blinded by whatever, they're kind of at the same point. They was like, at least don't draft this guy, because we saw with Will Greer. We drafted Will Greer in the 3rd round. Never really got a fair shake. Never really got a chance to play. He ended up getting cut last year. He practice squad with Dallas. I don't know where he is at this point. But granted, he wasn't the guy. But he never really got a chance to develop properly. I know they brought him in behind Cam, and they thought maybe that would happen. But obviously Cam's injury started happening. So Heineke happened. Kyle Allen happened. They threw Will Greer in a little bit. And it was muddy when you try to build for the future, but at the same time trying to win now. And I think that's a lot of people's issue. Like you said, this quarterback class next year is deep. You talk about Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so now you got a top pick in that draft.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up. But, now Matt Corral, he's not going to get the rep, even in practice, because you splitting reps between Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and they're going to get the scraps to Matt Corral. It's not going to be a situation that's conducive, that's better for him.
Yeah, I agree. Because last year, during the preseason, I don't know how close you paid attention, but PJ Walker and Will Greer, they were battling for that backup spot, and like they tried to split reps. But when you playing with there's a difference between playing with threes in the NFL and playing with twos. Threes, you look like sometimes people don't know what they're doing. There's assignments being missed, and Will Greer might have been here 3 or 4 seasons, but if everybody else around you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna be able to produce. But you see PJ Walker going with the twos, he throwing bombs to Terrace Marshall Jr., he's scrambling around, playing with some guys that are really talented, he's gonna look better. But there's not enough reps on the field to be able to get a fair shake for everybody. So somebody's gonna get the short end of the stick. And to me, it looks like Matt Corral may be that guy that gets the short end this year because one, like you said, they're trying to find out who's the starter, but two, PJ Walker's still on the team. So that's 4 quarterbacks.
And what's disappointing to me is I was holding out just a little bit of hope that maybe Matt Corral could beat out Sam Darnold for the starting job in camp. You know, you hear certain things about his quick release. You listen to him talk. You hear his maturity. You know what I mean? You hear about things that he's gone through and how he's grown. You watch his highlights, you know what I'm saying, at Ole Miss. And so I was holding out like just maybe, you know, it could be one of those, that Russell Wilson thing or that Dak Prescott thing where he could beat him out in camp. But now with the Baker Mayfield trade, it's like that's kind of out the window. And now that's the competition now. But maybe I see. You want to be able to say, I trust the organization that maybe they saw, you know, in mini camp or whatever, when they saw these guys throw that, oh, nah, we need somebody. But looking at them, when you look at their track record, they was like, yeah, man, we watched so much film on Sam Darnold. Yeah, he's definitely, we know he's going to come in here and do this. Oh, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. Man, I got so much respect for that guy. I love that guy. We got so much faith in him. So, at this point, I don't believe nothing y'all. I don't believe no decisions y'all make right now can I trust. I just need to see what's going to be on the field, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, though, because like I said, Matt Rule, that's why people call him a used car salesman, because he'll say one thing in front of you, but then, like, you turn around and do whatever. You gave Teddy the 3-year deal, but then you cut him after 1. You literally did the same way you got Baker Mayfield is the same way you had to get rid of Teddy Bridgewater. You're paying him to start quarterback for a different organization. I didn't think Teddy was that bad. I thought, like you said, draft Fields, let Teddy get one more year. You got that out after Teddy's 2nd year in that 3-year deal. Let Fields come in, and then it's the perfect. You go the rest of the roster, you still got Fields on 4 years of rookie deal. So the opportunities have been there.
And that would have been nice. And the thing is that Teddy Bridgewater, I didn't really like him. He was serviceable. Here's was my problem. It was constantly just underthrown balls. Yeah. You know, it was I could tell he just didn't have that arm talent. I feel like up here he was right, you know, and Robbie Anderson, he definitely ate off that. You know, our passing game ate off. We had a nice passing game, you know, with him under center, but it was that next level, man. I know they saw that. I know Tepper was seeing that up in the booth and put pressure on them guys like, bro, like he can't bomb it out, you know. We got guys stopping short to catch the ball. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, we're not using them to their potential because of this guy. So I understand what they did, but they just got a worse quarterback to replace him.
Yeah, I'm under the belief that DJ Moore could easily be a 1,500-yard receiver with any other quarterback in the league that has an arm because, like you said, all the underthrown passes. But the thing I'll ask you, though, with Teddy, how much do you think that you put on him versus Joe Brady? Because obviously we saw – Joe Brady, he got fired during the season. Robbie was saying that the stuff was getting predictable. You saw it too. You saw DB sitting on certain routes, but at the same time, like you said, Robbie was eating that first year with Teddy and Joe Brady. But then you turn around with a different quarterback, circumstances are different. So how much do you think Teddy's struggles might have been with Joe Brady versus just him? Because if anything, Teddy knows good coach. I mean, he played under Sean Payton. He knows a decent coach and a play caller, so he has some experience in different circumstances.
Okay, but I gotta put it like this: the only place Teddy Bridgewater he did anything was okay. So start off in Minnesota, but I mean post injury, I mean all we had was that little 5-game stretch with New Orleans where he went 5-0. His numbers wasn't that impressive. Okay, he came to Carolina. He did what he did with us. went to Denver. What did they do? They got a new quarterback too.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily say that, but I can say that Joe Brady, he might have been in over his head. I don't know if it was glaring to me watching, but when you got players talking about it, obviously, there's something there. But you know what I'm saying? He was fresh out of college, LSU, what's crazy, he was getting head coach interviews. That's crazy. That's crazy. But
life comes at you fast, dog.
Right. You know where he's at now, Joe?
He's in Buffalo, man, where everybody that lead the Panthers go.
Right, bro. Sean McDermott, man. Get your own flag.
Everybody go, man. It's Carolina North, not North Carolina. They're Carolina North, but they win playoff games and they got them a quarterback, so we can't even really knock them like that,
That's what I'm saying.
At this point,
they all big.
Yeah, exactly. They go to Washington or they go to Buffalo. But yeah, I mean, Joe Brady, I agree. He was in over his head. He didn't even really call plays at LSU like that. He was a passing game coordinator. And you say he was 30 years old. Them dudes, and that's kind of the reason why I thought they might have got rid of Cam, because like him and Cam were like the same age, dog. So like Cam with 10 years in the league versus a 30-year-old that has no experience. You know how the strong Cam's personality is, and I think that's one of the main reasons he's not signed, because his personality is probably a little bit too big if you're not the right type of coach. Maybe a Tomlin, obviously a Belichick could probably do it. Pete Carroll probably, those type of coaches that they know who they are. But a guy like Matt Rule or an unproven guy that doesn't really know who they are, still trying to get respect in the locker room, they may feel a little bit intimidated. But I think the misconception about Cam is that they think that he's some demonstrative prima donna. But if you can win Cam over, he's that type of leader. He's going to help you get the whole locker room. So exactly. I always thought it was a little bit misguided.
Talk to the players. Exactly. Talk to the players. They believe in Cam. You just heard Robbie Anderson today. Like he injected energy into me. Injected energy into the whole team. I remember when he scored that touchdown, the I'm back touchdown, and you saw Christian McCaffrey going crazy. Christian McCaffrey, I've never seen that out of Christian.
Exactly. He makes it fun, and and that's why I think a lot of fans are sour on it, and just in general, like my old lady, she's a casual, but she just didn't know how she was going to be able to watch football without Cam. She's like, I can't watch any of the football game because all these other quarterbacks are boring. Teddy Bridgewater's boring, But, Cam, he pointing the first down. He's Superman in the end zone. He gassing everybody else up.
It was nothing like that 2015 season, man.
Man.
That was heaven on earth, man. As a Panther,
I was just talking about that too, man. With the
that was heaven on earth. I'm so sad that we weren't able to beat Denver. Weren't able to give Cam Newton that ring. It's sad the way that ended, man. But that was a hell of a season.
And you don't know when the next time, because I remember they were saying they'll be back, but you're never gonna be back, dog. Sometimes you just when magic strikes, and that's my concern about a team like the Bengals. They're legit. They added to the O-line and stuff. They got a legit quarterback and receiver, but sometimes things just go your way, and sometimes you can't bottle it up again and do it all over again. And I hope we get a ring before I'm in the ground, but shoot, it's been a struggle lately, dog.
I mean, damn, we still young. We got some time. Damn, have some faith, bro.
Listen, I saw I saw a video of an old Bengals fan. He was in a nursing home. This dude was on his deathbed. I was like, would I enjoy something like that? Or would I rather just go thinking shoulda, coulda, woulda from the 2015 season? Do I want to win a ring on my deathbed? I want to be an adult so I can hit the parade. I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to be there. You see the Rams getting their ring. You see all the Warriors, obviously, they parade and stuff. It's like, dog. Because I went to the Braves. I mean, I'm not even a big baseball fan, but I'm in the A. So I went to the Braves parade, and I was like, dog, this may be the only time I get to go to a championship parade in my life. I'm going. And it wasn't that like it, man. So we got to get if we get one in Charlotte, dog, I'm gonna show my ass. I'm showing my ass.
Yeah, I got to be down there. I got to be down there for that.
Happened. So what do you think? What are your predictions for going back to the quarterback position? What are your predictions for Baker? You said that he thinks he's capable of that, but what do you expect? I mean, do you expect him to win this competition? Do you think it's a legit competition? And do you think he'll win it? But also, what do you think he'll do throughout the season? What do you expect from him?
I think he'll either win it or take over pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And I think that if Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, which, listening to some of the players, just look based off what I've seen, listen to Robbie Anderson, that's a major component, more so than I even knew during that time. But Christian McCaffrey staying healthy is a big component. If that happens, I think he'll play well at the quarterback position. He's not going to set the league on fire, but he'll play well enough for us to win games. Our defense is legit. I think we could get a playoff berth if McCaffrey stays healthy. That's my prediction. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but that's
Nah, a lot of people are right there. A lot of people are saying maybe 9-10 games. The NFC is not as top heavy as the AFC. The AFC loaded. So you can sneak up on some teams. The schedule is tough, but at the same time, like, the thing I love about the NFL, you never know. Everybody's 0-0 right now. Hope is at an all-time high.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's an epidemic right now. But, like, you just never know how stuff going to shake out. Nobody saw the Bengals turning around that quick. You know what I'm saying? Going to the Super Bowl at that. And so
that's the best part about the NFL, because I got a Charlotte Hornets hat hanging up, and I know for sure, you know what I mean? Like, I can put money. I can go to Vegas right now. They won't be in no finals or no second round of the playoffs or nothing like that. Like, I think that's the thing with basketball. With football, it's like you can always just hold out that hope, even though all the rankings got us at like number 32 in the league right now.
And I don't personally. I mean, obviously, I'm maybe a little biased. I don't feel like we're the worst team in the league. I think we're better than the Falcons. I just don't see us being worse than the Falcons. I don't. And I'm say what?
Who's their quarterback right now?
It's either Desmond Ridder or Marcus Mariota. It's probably gonna be Mariota to start, but like they got Pitts, but I don't really know. I mean, I think they drafted with Drake London, but there's nothing really on their team that puts any fear. I mean, Pitts is good, but he's a tight end, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody on their roster that really puts fear in me. So I don't see them being better than the Panthers. The Texans.
Thank God Julio gone.
Exactly. So, I mean, I just, with our defense, I just don't see them, and Matt Ryan being gone, I don't see them being able to be better than us. I don't see how we're 32, but that's neither here nor there. Nobody really pays attention to the Panthers like that. So they're going to always get the disrespect. And it's almost like when the Panthers are being disrespected, they play better. And then once they get the respect, they lay an egg. So it's like, it's really wild, because they call us the worst 15-1 team in NFL history. I'm like, dog, only like 3 teams have ever gone 15-1. So like, what kind of BS is that? But
I remember every week they was like, they gonna lose this week. It like, it ends versus the Packers.
Yeah,
he'll beat the Packers. Like, it's gonna end right here. Nope. I was mad that we lost to the Falcons to not go.
I was there. I was there, dog.
You was there.
I was.
Like, what is it? They were like, why can't we? Oh my gosh!
And they always. I think we've lost like 7 out of the last 9 to them. They just have our number for some reason. I think with Matt Ryan gone, it's gonna be a whole different ball game now, because I think a lot of it was Matt Ryan, and we don't really have
Julio Jones. Trust me, Julio Jones.
Yeah, I was at the 3. That wasn't it, but I was at the 300-yard game that Julio had too. I was there. I was at lower level seats. They was letting us have it, dog. Like,
crazy. I remember we had his cornerback. His name was Ben Wicker.
Nah,
bro, I liked him before that game, bro. Everything was going well for him before that game. Bro. He was cut like the week after, bro. Like,
yeah.
I was like, damn, it was that bad.
Nah, imagine. Nah, had you been making film content back then, my dude, you got a whole. You got 15 minutes of hell right there. I mean, shit, you could probably still do it, to be honest. But nah, I got a couple what-if scenarios. Okay. So let me see. This is gonna be almost like some shoulda, coulda, woulda type stuff for Panthers fans. So, would you rather? Is what it is. Would you rather have 2 more years of prime Cam Newton, or 3 more years of a healthy Luke Kuechly?
2 more years of prime Cam Newton easily. He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a quarterback. But Luke Kuechly, that's my guy. I mean, when you hear players and talk about him, they're like, bro, he calling out the play.
Yeah.
As the offense is about to hike, like the quarterback's like, bro, I don't know what to do. We run this. So I mean, that's crazy to have, but quarterback position obviously is top. So 2 more years of prime Cam Newton.
Okay. All right, and one more. Would you rather never had traded Steve Smith and he retired a Panther, Or would you rather have a healthy, no miss game Christian McCaffrey from day one until for the rest of his career?
Okay. I mean, that's now Steve is my favorite player of all time. Would I have liked for him to stay and retire Panther? Sure. But now we talking about the past versus the future. So I would definitely love for Christian McCaffrey to stay healthy. And was you say finished out his career in Carolina as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I would take that. Because that's dealing with the future. I'm about moving forward, man. Let's be good moving forward, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of part of the thing because it's like, what would have happened? Like I think about the what if stuff because think about it, because Steve Smith didn't retire until 2017. He was in Baltimore, still doing the thing. Imagine us having Steve Smith on that Super Bowl team in 2015. Do we get a ring? Do we get a ring?
Yeah, we got a ring because he's gonna be able to find Steve Smith. We made it the whole season with what I'm saying, just anybody at receiver. I think Ted Ginn was our number one receiver. Yeah. Like, and on that stage, Steve Smith would have showed out. Like, you wouldn't have held Steve Smith down. That's what I loved about Steve Smith. Like, he ain't back down to nobody. It was nobody that I felt like. I mean, Darrelle Revis, obviously, he was Darrelle Revis and he did his thing. But man, Steve Smith, I remember that Ice Up Son game versus Steve Smith was a bully, real lot. And if you got in his ear, he came out even more. Yeah. So that's my guy.
I remember. He was a hothead, dog. I remember when he broke his wrist in camp because he punched his own teammate,
and somehow that propelled us to the playoffs.
Exactly.
That's everybody was like, yeah. When it all started when Steve Smith just stole Ken Lucas in the face. That's when we really decided to do it this year. I'm like,
and I think that was the same year him and D'Angelo Hall kind of got into it too. And again, I think so because that's when I knew I was like, okay, this dude's Steve Smith.
He didn't care, man. He was He was a hothead.
He was on another level, man. And like you said, he was probably my
favorite. He like mossed this dude. You know this highlight. Goes into the end zone. And then I guess dude hit him late, but he didn't really care about it. He was too But his team, he just looked over, saw his teammates fighting, just ran over and grabbed him.
I think it was the Saints. I think it was
the Saints.
Was that Roman Harper?
It might have been
Roman Harper or Darren Sharper. I think it might have been Darren Sharper too. One of them two.
I'm like, but yeah, that dude is different.
And that's the type of dude that you hate it when he's out on your team. You really just hate him. And like that, if he is on your team, you love him, and that's how it is now. He's commentating because he's gonna tell it like it is now. He whatever. I like Steve because I know how he is, and he says some crazy off the wall stuff. But I think that's what they pay him for, obviously, and that's what kind of sells right now anyway.
But you think he wouldn't have blended with Kelvin? I guess that's the reason why it was Cam actually. It was Cam who they thought he wasn't going to blend with.
Steve?
He was strong for Cam.
Yeah, and that's what Gettleman said. They wanted the identity of the team to be more so of Luke Kuechly and Cam Newton versus a Steve Smith. You know what I'm saying? Because Steve Smith, I mean, he kind of is what he is. And, I mean, granted, they had a couple, 2 years together maybe? Something like that. I don't know. But, I mean, that's the only legit receiver he's pretty much had his whole career, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately. And it's really, you kind of see the same thing playing out with Lamar. Honestly, fortunately, they actually have a decent O-line, but I don't understand why they continue to not give these dudes weapons. They criticize them about them not being able to pass, but like, if you don't put no weapons around anybody, they're not going to look good. You know what I'm saying? That's why Brady left New England.
Panthers fans understand. Maybe Cam supporters understand, but people never talk about when it comes to Cam. It's how few weapons he had. Look at who he was throwing to. Look at what those guys did in other situations if they were in other situations. I'm talking about Brandon LaFell. What's crazy now that, I do what I do. Sometimes it's like, I will talk freely, but it's like, this person might hear this or this person might follow me, but whatever. Brandon LaFell, Philly Brown, you know what I mean? Obviously Ted Ginn, he did good things, but he's Ted Ginn. It's like we never surrounded him past Steve Smith, really gave him that number one receiver. We had Kelvin Benjamin. We drafted another big guy from Michigan, Funchess. But it's like
tight end now.
Exactly. So look at that, you know.
And I mean, yeah, Greg. I mean, and Greg is my guy, but having a guy on the outside, and that's a lot of people's like little what a cop out. They be like, oh, Cam had Greg. I'm like, having a tight end. I mean, and Greg is as good as he is. He's not an outside receiver. He's not like a Kelsey or a Waller type or a super athletic type that can just beat anybody. I mean, he was effective. He did his thing. Obviously, the multiple 1,000-yard years. He set that precedence. But like having a weapon on the outside is just a whole different ball game when you have that type of athleticism, and which is why you see why they let Tyreek Hill go, but you see they still kept Travis Kelce because having an athletic type of tight end is a little bit different story with everything that happens too.
Yeah.
Like you said though, with your content, how often do you think about? Because like you said, a lot of that stuff you say you put it against yourself. You say if you think it's funny, it's cool. But how often do you think about okay, who might see this or who might whatever? I know you like to go with the Davis and whatever. You don't really go with anything, put names behind anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're talking about the Lakers, it applies to Davis, but. How often do you like second guess that? Do you think like, hey, this dude may see it, or me now that you like, more people are seeing your content and more players are coming up to you? Do you ever think somebody may run down on you one day or say something about that? Because you be hit with the low blows sometimes on the jokes and they funny, but somebody might take it some type of way.
My thing is, man, I don't factor that in because I couldn't do my job effectively if I'm trying to factor that in. And so my thing is, I want it to be funny, and I would hope that when people see it, that they laugh themselves. I've had several players, whether it be college, NFL, NBA, they'll comment under the video and they'll just be laughing. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, it's a community, and we just all we understand that it's jokes. So, I mean, hopefully that's where it goes as it gets bigger and whatever. It is what it is. But, I'm just willing to accept whatever comes with it because it is what it is.
So.
But up to this point, I haven't gotten any pushback from anybody. I haven't had anybody reach out to me, go on my DMs like, hey, chill out or none of that. It's just all been laughs, jokes. And I think people understand like, okay, it's me this week. Next week is going to be this person. Next week is going to be another person. Next week is going to be another person. It's not like I sit here and I have a vendetta against any person or anything like that. So it's always just, whatever happened this week, whoever it is this week, that's who it is this week. And, we laugh. The next person, we all going to laugh. With that person, we're going to laugh. But that's it.
Nah, respect because You've even made a video about Super Bowl 50, and any Panthers fan, if you can laugh at that at this point, I haven't seen that game since, to be honest. Yeah, so if you're gonna make the joke about it, and even talk about Cam a little bit in it, and it really corroborates what you're saying, especially this whole Rodney Anderson situation too.
Another thing with that is, a lot of times people believe that what I say in my videos that I mean, or that's how I feel. Nah, I'm making jokes. So I may feel completely different about a situation, but I still just get the joke off. Case in point or example, what I'm talking about, there was a Denver Broncos game in which Teddy Bridgewater, there was a fumble.
Yeah, I remember.
He was running back. He's running to the end zone, and Teddy Bridgewater just kind of steps out the way. He doesn't tackle him. Now, in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's what you should do, Teddy, because you already been hurt. You know what I mean? That ain't your job. Get out of there. Whatever, you got your career ahead of you. You good. Business decision in my head. But people were like, oh, you gotta do something on this video. So what I'm saying? I'm gonna get on the video and I'm gonna act like I'm the coach grilling him on that situation. But in reality, I side with him. So it's not necessarily my thought process. It's simply just, like I said, jokes.
Yeah, I mean, objectivity is appreciated, and basically, like you're saying, anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? ain't nobody safe, man. So yeah, I mean, and it's respect for that because I mean, like I said, you're in a different, but me and the niche I'm in, I try not to, and my brand being unnecessary bluntness, I try to provide facts and stuff too. But like you said, people do have certain feelings about stuff, so I try to keep my criticisms to football mainly. And I try not to make it personal. I try to be as objective as possible. I try to look at it from my own perspective too, and being a little bit more level-headed versus an emotional fan perspective.
Yeah,
but it can be tough, and I understand that. And salute to you for that objectivity, because and what you do, a lot of your stuff is mama jokes anyway. Like, people have been cracking on mama since the '90s, yo.
But the thing about the mama jokes, I never do a mama joke and I'm actually pinpointing it towards that person's mama. So like it's a mama joke almost every video.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it's kind of that falls on Davis, the character Davis, and not necessarily on the player. Sometimes I'll have certain things that are relevant to the player, as far as within the video. But when it comes to that mama joke, I don't know these guys or their mom or their family. Obviously, that is just a generic thing that I'm gearing towards that character Davis. And also, the mama joke started before there was even any, like, I was doing videos on actual games.
Yeah.
That started when I was just doing like regular skits, and the characters were all that there was. There was no, didn't have necessarily any player to represent, if that makes sense.
Nah, it's just like you said. I mean, I think you got to pin to your Twitter, like, it's all fiction. Yes, it's real life stuff. I'm not putting no names to it. Like I said, that one time you were talking about the Lakers, it just happened to be Davis. So that's what made it more funny too. But,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I play with that, but
like you said, it ain't personal.
It's not personal.
It's just jokes. Yeah, nah. And I mean, shoot, we saw Chris Rock get slapped and stuff, so it's a little bit dicey with the comedy and the jokes nowadays. But it is what it is. Yeah. So speaking of Davis, I got a surprise for you, my dude. So I did some research, and I'm a vintage Panthers fan. Like, I love all the vintage gear. I got a vintage hat on now. Like, one, is cheaper than the new stuff, and it's a lot more. Back in the day when it wasn't just all Nike and everybody else, Reebok was making stuff. All kind of people were making stuff, so there's a lot more competition. I got a surprise for you. So I did my research and I found a vintage shirt. Now I tried to figure out who this player was, if there actually was one, but I couldn't find who it is. But I got you a Davis Panthers t-shirt from Logo.
Bro, you know who that is? I think that's that might be Eric Davis. Is that his name?
I looked it up. I think Eric Davis was like 26. I thought it was him, but I think he was 26, and I just don't know. I looked it up on Pro Football Reference. I don't know who it is. So me being a fan, I was a sucker. I just ended up buying it. I said, I'll do the homework research later. I can't do nothing with it. So I got you a Davis jersey, bro. I'll put it in the mail for you in the P.O. box or something like that.
That's what's up, man. I'm sure
there'll be some content for the Panthers to mess up on that you can make up with later. And you can roll with the Davis jersey. Somehow you'll figure it out. You're a lot more creative than me.
Bro, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I got you. But before we wrap up, just talk about what's next for Coach 30, man. Like, what's the vision? I mean, obviously football season coming, but long-term prospects. I know you talked about the possibility of being the middleman with recruiting and stuff like that, possibly, but what's your vision for your brand, dog, as far as going forward? I know you got the podcast and stuff too. You could plug that in, but where are you going to go with that? I know you said acting and stuff like that, but do you see anything bigger for Coach 30 in general?
Yeah, man, I see. It's so expansive. Continuing with the sports content and growing that brand across different sports and leagues. Like I said, acting, comedy, stand-up comedy, something I'm about to get into as well.
Okay.
Production, as far as I want to kind of go like you just saw Jordan Peele new movie Nope, and he's done 2 previous ones at this point. Get Out was his first one, and I want to get into that realm down the road. Like you see, like with some of the things I do, it's not just like, you can see that, there's some skill behind the camera as well, and within the editing process as well. So I want to continue to do that, grow to that level. And then that's obviously a part of that. Before that, even still, to branch out to just not even sports. So obviously these accounts that I have are very geared towards sports, but I'm going to have, more accounts that will be just, not necessarily just all about sports. So there's going to be general comedy and skits and scenes and things of that nature. So I'm just really excited to continue to grow and do that. Obviously, I'm built different podcast. Go on Instagram and you can follow the Build Different podcast there and check us out. We record every Wednesdays and most every Wednesday we try. And, episodes usually up within a couple of days on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all that. So you can go find the podcast there, but continue to build in podcasting as well. And, maybe have a big podcast, I really respect what Joe Rogan does. Obviously, that's the pinnacle of it, but I want to get to that level. So, like I said, it's extremely expansive. Like the sky's the limit, and I just want to continue to grow and go in that direction.
Yeah, man. I always say, dude, don't let folks box you in, dog. And,
nah, never.
I mean, sports is cool, and like I said, there's a lot of opportunities, and you've taken off on that. But if you got desires outside of that, dude, don't let them box you in, because the last thing you want to do is be a character of yourself to the point that you feel like you can't be as genuine as you want to because you feel like, okay, This is working. I don't want to color outside the lines because when I do this, it don't work or something like that. Don't let them box you in, man. So I'm all about moving and shaking, dog, especially in 2022, man. It's too much opportunity out here, man. But I appreciate you taking the time, dude, man. It was a pleasure. I'm a big fan of your content, obviously. Obviously, you being a Panthers fan, we got something to talk about, too. So I got to get you back on here sometime, maybe during preseason or during the season after we get some film or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we could even do a film walkthrough and you can get some critiques in just to keep it light. Because I do my film breakdowns, but I ain't as funny as you. I keep it straight up from my perspective of what I see from my experience. But you played on the next level, too. You got the comedy aspect. You know how I go, too. So.
And thank you for having me on, man. Obviously, man, I keep up with your content. I appreciate the consistency, man, keeping us in the loop of what's going on, breaking down the film, giving us insight, on the new players that come in, the rookies, all that, man. It's a lot of good work on your channel. And, man, I just hope you continue to be blessed, continue to grow, and continue to have fun with this, man, and doing what you love.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. And like you said, consistency is the hardest part. I started the channel. I mean, everybody want to build their stuff up and make money eventually. That's everybody's goal. I mean, granted, it's a hobby. It's my favorite team. I like doing it. But the Panthers don't get the love that they deserve. So that's my biggest motivation is to be boots on the ground, giving people that insight. I got a lot more visuals of my stuff, too. I'm trying to get some more game day vlogs, some tailgate vlogs. I go to a lot of games. But getting that content can be tough when you out there. But the content got to get put out. Like Draymond said, y'all gonna get this podcast, regardless. So it's about doing that. And I'll be at camp, so I'll be reporting. So check your boy out on Twitter, man, if you want to follow along. And like I said, I'll get you back on here. But I appreciate my boy Brenden coming through. He'll definitely be back. Go follow him on pretty much all platforms. And Mr. Go 30, the funniest man in the world. Sports coming up, season's coming up now. It's gonna be plenty of content. I'm excited as a fan myself. So I appreciate you stopping by. Everybody else, I'll holler at y'all. Appreciate you tuning in, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you are subscribed to the podcast. Give it a review. Let me know what you think about it. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.